Sabitha Pillai-Friedman. So, இவங்க இன்னைக்கு ஆக்சுவலி நம்மளோட கிளினிக்கு சர்ஜரி ஆக போறவங்க வந்திருந்தாங்க. ஸோ ஆஃப்டர் தட் டாக்டர் செல்வி சஜஸ்டட் இட் வில் பி குட் இஃப் தட் பர்சன் கம்ஸ் அண்ட் அட்டென்ஸ் இப்போ. அதனால வந்து பேசிட்டு இருக்கும்போது there was one question she was saying, நான் வந்து என் ஹஸ்பண்ட் முன்னாடி கேட்க விருப்பப்படுறேன். இது என்னோட ஒரு சைட் பிரெஸ்ட் மாஸ்டெக்டமி பண்ணின அப்புறம் என்னை பார்க்கும்போது எனக்கே ஷாக்கிங்காக இருக்கும்போது how will I relate to my husband? I was very happy that the question came up in me. Usually we sweep a lot of things under the carpet. ஒன்று தயக்கம், இன்னொன்று கேட்டால் என்ன நினச்சிப்பாங்களோ. Usually that is it wrong to talk about sex with others, with your own people? நம்மளை என்ன நினச்சிப்பாங்களோ. So அந்த மாதிரி questions, lot of things go through, and when a trauma strikes are even more aggravated. And in the மாதிரி position, all of us, many of us would have gone through this.
என் பேர் சபிதா பிள்ளை. நான் வந்து இங்கே சென்னையில் தான் படித்தேன். மாஸ்டர்ஸ் படிச்சுட்டு யூஎஸில் பிஹெச்டி படித்தேன். 30 இயர்ஸாக யூஎஸில் இருக்கேங்க. அதனால் பாதி லைஃப் டைம் இந்தியாவில் இருந்திருக்கேன், பாதி லைஃப் டைம் யூஎஸில் இருந்திருக்கேன். அதனால் எனக்கு தமிழ் ஆனால் ஃப்ளூவெண்ட்டாக வரும். ஏன்னா எங்கள் ஃபேமிலி இங்கே தான் இருக்காங்க. அதனால் நான் எவ்ரி 6 months வந்து ஐ ஹவ் பீன் செக்கிங் ஆன் மை 90-year-old மதர். ஸோ ஐ கம் டு இந்தியா எவ்ரி 6 months. எனக்கு இது செய்யணும்னு ரொம்ப ஆசை. ஏன்னா அங்கே என்னோட ஒர்க் வந்து கேன்சர் பேஷண்ட்ஸ், கேன்சர் சர்வைவர்ஸ் தான். அதனால் நான் வந்து அவங்ககிட்ட செக்ஷுவாலிட்டி பற்றி ஐ கிவ் லாட் ஆஃப் டாக்ஸ். ஸோ இதான் ஃபஸ்ட் டைம் நான் இந்தியாவில் பண்ணுறேன். அதனால் if you can take some pictures of it, because I can post it on my social media. Okay, great. அதனால இங்கே வந்து நான் ஃபஸ்ட் டைம் பேசுகிறேன். அதனால் தமிழும் இங்கிலீஷும் மிக்ஸ் பண்ணி பேசுகிறேன்னு சொன்னாங்க. சரி, நான் பேசுகிறேன், மிக்ஸ் பண்ணி பேசுகிறேன். as much as possible I'll mix Tamil and English. But you know, we all grew up in a culture where we couldn't talk about sex. We couldn't talk about body parts really. So it will be a little bit difficult to talk about sex. But anyway, so நம்ம சின்ன வயசுலேருந்து we don't feel comfortable asking anybody about sex. No, சின்ன வயசுல கூட even when before you got married, how many people learned what happens? Nobody learns. So there is some assumption people will just do things on their own and figure it out. So even after cancer treatment, there is an expectation இவங்க எப்படியா கற்றுக்குவாங்க, எப்படியோ ஆயிடும் அப்படின்னு. But still your body has changed so much. உங்கள் மைண்டும் அவ்வளோ மாறி இருக்கு. இப்போ வந்து இதெல்லாம் வந்து you have, it's like learning a new lesson. It's like learning something completely new. It's a new language for you. It's a new language for your partners. I use the word partner for husbands because I don't know how many people are married, how many people are not married. I just don't want to make any assumptions. So I'm going to use the word partner for husbands. So even for partners, it's a new language. இவன் இப்படி மாறிட்டாலே, இப்போ எந்த பாட்டை தொட்டால் அவளுக்கு இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் வரும், இங்கே தொடலாமா, இங்கே இதாக இருக்கே, ஸ்கார் இருக்கே, இப்படி பண்ணலாமா, இங்கே what if it hurts her? I have to be, how gentle should I be? Would she be upset with me? Now when she's going through all these treatments, if I say I want to have sex, will she think I'm selfish? You know, so all these thoughts are running through your partner's mind, and maybe in your mind you're thinking, oh, you know, I just wish he wouldn't touch me. If he sees me, he's not going to like me because my body looks terrible. So you may have all these dialogues going on in your head, and your husband meanwhile is having his own dialogue. You both don't talk about sex. That is one reason why sex becomes very difficult. So I'm going to give you some very simple steps. So we don't have a lot of time. This is the kind of talk I give every 6 months, and people come to see me in my private practice. So I'll tell you what I do for a living. I teach full-time at a university called Vagina University. I teach in a department called Center for Human Sexuality Studies. Enga students ellarum they are studying about sexuality. So they go help cancer survivors, they go help postpartum women, they help men who have had prostate cancer. So all my students are sexuality professionals. In fact, they're coming tonight. From 8 of them are coming tonight from the US, and I'm going to take them to meet see different programs. So I'm the associate professor. I also have a small practice in Philadelphia, and I see couples and individuals, not only for cancer treatment, but also people who have desire issues, interest illadavanga, pain, sexual pain இருக்கிறவங்க அந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் வந்து they get consultation from me. So these are the two things I do. So this is my time to take my students around. So excited about that. உங்க handout கொஞ்சம் பாத்துங்க, because I thought இந்த அவசரத்துல பேசும்போது you may not catch some things. அதனால உங்களுக்கு ஒரு ரிசோர்ஸ் லிஸ்ட் போட்டு கொடுத்துருக்கேன். இது என்ன பண்ணேன்னா, நான் இது அமேசான் இந்தியா போய் ஐ லுக்ட் அப் சர்டன் திங்ஸ். ஏன்னா உங்க இதுல இங்க கிடைக்கிற சாமானுக்கும் அங்க கிடைக்கிற சாமானுக்கும் டிஃபரன்ஸ் இருக்கு. அதனால நான் அமேசான்ல போய் எங்கெங்க என்னென்ன ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் தான் இங்கே கிடைக்குதுன்னு பார்த்து உங்களுக்கு அந்த ரிசோர்ஸஸ்ல போட்டிருக்கேன். ஸோ இட் வில் பி யூஸ்ஃபுல் ஃபார் யூ. ஓகே, ஸோ உங்கள்கிட்ட நான் ஒரு கேள்வி கேட்கணும். செக்ஸை பற்றி நிறைய பேர் வி டோன்ட் டாக். இல்லை, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் வி டோன்ட் டாக் இன் பப்ளிக் அபவுட் இட். அப்புறம் நம்ம ஆனால் மனசுக்குள்ள ஒரு அசம்ஷன்ஸ் வச்சுருக்கோம். இந்த மாதிரி ஆளுங்க தான் செக்ஸை என்ஜாய் பண்ண முடியும், நம்மளால எல்லாரும் என்ஜாய் பண்ண முடியாது. ஸோ நீங்கள் என்ன நினைக்கிறீங்க, எந்த மாதிரி ஆளுங்க தான் செக்ஸை என்ஜாய் பண்ண முடியும்? What is your thinking about that? Huh? Anybody? Very good.
Anybody who's capable.
Good. This is a more educated audience than the audience I deal with in the US. See, we have women who are saying anybody. I like that. And so, do you think all touching is sexual or it should lead to sex?
No.
This is by far the best audience I've ever had. Does sex always equal intercourse?
No.
So what are some of the other things you can do that could be sexual?
Just cuddling.
Cuddling.
Kissing, yes. Caressing. This is wonderful. Yes, you're all right. And good sex is spontaneous with no planning or talking.
True.
Maybe both.
That is the one thing that could get you into trouble. The good sex that does not involve talking happens only in Bollywood films. After a good rain, when the hero and heroine dance around the tree, they run into the room and they have sex. Good sex requires talking. So I will tell you how you can start talking with your partners. So you all got this answer correct, right? So research shows that even people who have had spinal cord injury, they can have orgasms. So we can actually stimulate parts of their spinal cord that will give them an orgasm, because most of the times they think spinal cord injury, Archana, you can't have the orgasm. So everybody's body is functional to some extent. So this is what research is showing. Yeah, next slide. So touch can be soothing, it can be comforting, but sometimes if there is a feeling, maybe he wants to go to the next stage in anyone. So that fear is there, so people won't touch each other. So pakatla TV paapanga ana thoda bayapuduvanga. Idu thotta idu I call that the staircase method. Oru kai vecha adukapra adu mela poga adukapra anga poga appo we have to have intercourse and orgasm. That is a thinking that a lot of people have. So they avoid touching. But touch is so important. Touch, non-sexual touch. And sometimes you can even talk about it. Today, all I want to do is just cuddle with you. Is that okay? Will you just allow me to just do that? And you partners should know, if she's asking for that, you should be able to do that. You cannot think, you and I will touch panitena, I'll get turned on, I have to have intercourse. We all can control ourselves. There are ways to manage that desire. Something called masturbation. You can do that. If your wife is not willing to have intercourse, there are other ways to manage the desire. But definitely don't stop touching, because you're triggering her thinking and desire by touching. Another, keep touching her, but with her permission. Where should I touch you? You can ask her. This feels comfortable. I was working with a couple for 25 years. And the 25 years when this man was rubbing her arm like this, she hated it. But she never told him. So when they came to see me, she said, she has been losing desire because this man goes and rubs her arm very vigorously, thinking he was going to turn her on. She said to him, Larry, every time you rub my hand like that, I want to smack you. I don't like it. So she should have said that, right? Long time ago, 25 years wait pannanga. So we all don't tell what we want. So I like this touch. I like it when you put your arm around me. I like it when you touch my hair. And then my chala. So, this is the biggest problem that people encounter. They equate sex with intercourse. See, at many stages in our life, we cannot have intercourse. Okay? Men and women. Okay? So when we have had a new baby, நம்ம ஊர்லலாம் எவ்வளோ நாள் வந்து 3 months they send off the girls. That's a very good custom. US they say 6 weeks. I say nonsense. Nobody's going to be ready after 6 weeks. So 3 months is the time. So we're not ready to have intercourse, but we can touch, we can really kiss each other, cuddle, all of that can be done. And even men sometimes get sick. I work with a prostate cancer group. They cannot have intercourse immediately after surgery. So they have to wait too. So different stages in our life, intercourse is not something you can do. So you have to be ready to pursue other activities. Touching, holding, even, manual touch. How many of you know what a vibrator is? Okay? So I'm going to teach you about the vibrator. So you can also use a vibrator. So all these now, I have slides to show you different things. So there can be hugging, sensual caress, massaging, cuddling, kissing, manual stimulation. That could also be, you can tell your partner what you like, what you don't like. Manual stimulation is possibility, vibrators, sex toys. Amazon India has sex toys now, so you can actually look it up and see in the choice. Intercourse and other forms of sex is only one aspect of sex. There are so many other things you could be doing. If this is what you want, you can do it, but wait for her to be ready, okay? I'm sorry, I have a cold and I'm just managing. So, good sex requires planning. You have to plan because in the time when intercourse I tell people, think of it as sex play. Some act of intimacy, but it may not be intercourse. It could be something else. So, it could be some other form of sexual activity. Anna, you need private time. Pasanga veetla irundanga get a nanny. What are mother-in-laws for? What are your mothers for? Ask them to take care of the kids. For evening, poite or relaxed irundhu, just have fun with each other. Because on the fun time, you can say, I feel like I want to be really close to you. How can I get close to you today? What do you feel like doing? But your wife should be able to say, I only feel like sitting on the couch and cuddling. I don't want to do anything right now. And you should be willing to accept it. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you prepare like that, I tell my couples, plan something every Saturday night or a Friday night. Even if you have children and all that, they go to sleep at a certain time. So make sure you have a little bit for a video or a movie pathanga. Find time for yourselves. You can do something to stay connected to your partner. So, wait, hold on a minute. So, I have to read it. Positive anticipation, lowered, okay. So, if you feel like if you have a plan, every Friday you're meeting, doing, just for fun, then Thursday night itself you're going to feel excited. Tomorrow we are going to go out. We are doing something fun. I usually tell couples, one person should do the planning and not tell what you're doing. So, keep it a surprise. And say, we are going out, you have to dress this way. We'll be out at 6 o'clock, we'll be back at 8. And then plan something around it, some activity. So the surprise and positive anticipation is very useful. And then, so once you do that, once you start planning, there's a higher level of comfort with sexual experience. And then once you have enjoyable sexual experience, see, as I told you, it cannot, intercourse, penetrative sex, but enjoyable. If you have enjoyed yourselves, then you want to do it again. So that is why communication is very important. I'm not ready for intercourse. You should be be able to say that. I'm not ready for intercourse, but I really do want to cuddle with you. I do want to, and the oral and, whatever you're comfortable with are different kinds of sex you can have. So I would like to suggest that you do some planning. So I want to remind all of you, your brain is the biggest sex organ. You have to turn your brain on. How many of you have watched movies and thought, oh, I would like to do that? That would be really good. Is there a scene in Hollywood or Bollywood that you love? Tell me.
Yes. Yes.
Tell me. Give me a couple of scenarios that are very exciting to you.
Dancing with your partner.
Yeah.
It's really.
So some of these movies, books, what books do you like? What books excite you? You all read Milton Boone? How many of you are Milton Boone generation? This, I think we are all the older people. Milton Boone generation. Yeah? So, so you all have something that will turn your brain on. Without you turning your brain on, you can't have sex. Right? Stove on panada, the thing will cook. Whatever you're cooking will cook. Without turning the stove on, it is not going to work. So your bodies need some thought, something that will turn you on. Okay? And so when you go through illness or treatment, our sexual feelings, our sexual self-esteem and a feeling about yourself gets altered. You don't feel the same way. A lot of times women will come and tell me, the breast is exciting. The breast scar interest. They'll say that. Sometimes they'll say, desire because the intercourse is painful. So in all these ways, the mind gets altered about sexual activity. That's the reality you have to deal with. Okay? So breast cancer treatment alters the feeling one has about themselves. You have to turn yourself. That's what I told you. In the book, see if your breast has scars, wear a nightie that covers that scars. A sexy nightie. Make sure that nightie covers the scars so you don't have to see it. And tell your husband, I don't want that to be touched. Don't touch the scars. You can touch the rest of my body. Because I'm self-conscious, I'll get used to it after a while. You can actually work with them like that. Okay? But don't abandon the effort to get excited about sex. Because everybody can be sexual. You yourself told me that. Yeah. So we have an expert here who says everybody can have sex. And you said that too, right? And the whole, this group, all of you agree. So keep that in your mind, in the forefront. I can be sexual. I'm having a setback because of my cancer. But things are going to get better. Definitely say that to yourself. Learn everything you can learn. But sexual side effects இந்த மருந்து சாப்பிட்டா டாக்டர்கிட்ட கேட்கலாம் நீங்க இது என்னங்க இந்த சாப்பிட்டா எனக்கு will I have vaginal dryness, will I have desire problems, இதெல்லாம் நீங்க போய் கூகுள் பண்ணி படிக்கலாம். உங்களுக்கு ஒரு ரிசோர்ஸ் கொடுத்துருக்கேன். இது American Cancer Society, www.cancer.org இருக்குல்ல. That website has side effects of all the medications. So it is a very useful website. So நீங்க போய் அதெல்லாம் படிச்சு learn. Because chemotherapy, radiation, hormonal therapy, எல்லாத்துக்கும் side effects, sexual side effects. For men also, when they go through prostate cancer treatment, they have the same kind of side effects. Similar but different. So you have to think of yourself not as a cancer patient. நான் cancer patient. So when you talk to somebody, I am a cancer patient, first அது மனசுல வச்சுக்காதீங்க. You are whatever you are. What work do you do? நீங்க என்ன வேலை பார்க்குறீங்க?
I used to work in Cognizant.
Okay, she used to work in Cognizant. So you are a professional. So how many of you have children? You have children. All of you have children. So you're a mother. You're a professional. And how many of you like to have hobbies? In the hobbies you practice. You all have hobbies. So art, what is your hobby? Crochet. So you have all these hobbies. So you are a whole person with all these things. You are a mother, you're a professional, you're an artist. So you have to remember that you're all of that, and cancer is only part of you. So put cancer in its place. Don't make that your whole story. Your narrative should be a little bit more than just a cancer patient. You have to make sure when you're going through life, cancer patient, you're also a beautiful person, you're going through a hard time, things are going to get better. And my positive self-talk and making cancer a smaller part of your life than you feel it is. Okay? So next one. So chemotherapy, it definitely causes orgasmic difficulties, it causes problem with arousal, lubrication, and it causes sexual pain. So there is the side effects of chemotherapy are all of these things. There is vaginal dryness is a very common side effect of chemotherapy. Sometimes women tell me when they have intercourse, they feel like there is glass inside. It's so painful because the vaginal walls are so dry. So menopause time and the estrogen rumba kammiya irukadhanaala vaginal dryness irukum. And even soon after your baby is born, when you're nursing, your estrogen level goes down, right? So in the time la kuda ungalku idu irukum, vaginal dryness irukum. So when you have chemotherapy, you have the same kind of vaginal dryness, but it's just a little bit more aggravated. So my suggestion is there are some things that you can use, and there are ways to manage the pain. Don't have intercourse when it's painful. If you can take one thing away from me today, remember, partners, don't force women to have intercourse if it is painful for them, because it will turn them away from you. They will lose desire. If you கையை கொண்டு போய் கேண்டில் வச்சா திரும்பி யாராவது நீங்க போய் வில்லிங்கா போய் கையில கேண்டில் வைப்பீங்களா? You won't do that, right? So don't force your partners to have intercourse if they are not able to. Wait, and I'll give you some resources. Try to use this and work with your wives. When are they ready? When can they have intercourse? You have to see. Okay? So the irritation of the vagina and vulva, 3 to 4 days after chemotherapy, they start feeling that. So it is a very common phenomenon. Just know that it's very common. So when you're dealing with yourself, be kind to yourself. It takes some time for it to get better. Next slide. Okay. So radiation and a side effect is fatigue. Romba tired after. Tired ஆகும்போது நமக்கு இது செக்ஸ் பத்தி இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் வராது. That is why after baby, a lot of women don't have sex because they're too tired. Baby's up all night, you're nursing all night, your body is run down. So similarly, the radiation makes you very tired. The more radiation you get, more tired you become. So, and moreover, the skin damage because of radiation, the punna vanduro, there is some burns you get from radiation. So you don't feel like your body is yours. Total and the sensation from parikal. So you will be, sometimes you may not be comfortable. It's not for everybody. Some people feel it, some people don't. But I'm just telling you, these are all things that does happen to people. You have to be aware of it. Hormonal therapy, again, you'll have the same menopausal symptoms, the vaginal dryness and sexual pain. All of these are part of hormonal therapy. The tamoxifen or,
MRI.
Yeah, so all of these definitely leads to vaginal dryness because the goal is to suppress the estrogen because estrogen contributes to cancer. So if your cancer is estrogen dependent, they will suppress the estrogen. Estrogen is what allows your body to experience lubrication. And testosterone, the small amount of testosterone you have is what allows you to feel desire. So these two are a little bit compromised, but it's not permanent. everything comes back. It just takes time, a little bit of time and patience. And some of the women I work with right now, they have been through treatment and they're sexual. They are back to where they were before. It takes a little bit of time and patience. But you have to know these are not symptoms that are foreign. Because everybody is going through the same thing, but things get better. So you should work with somebody, because some doctors don't talk about sex. At least you have this wonderful doctor who is interested in you learning about sex. Most doctors don't talk about it. So you have to be able to ask the questions. You should, don't worry, because they know the body. You can ask them questions. The inner side effect is sexual side effect. And moreover, if you have vaginal itching, pain, you should go to an oncologist. You send them to an OBGYN for that. You can go to an OBGYN and tell them you are experiencing pain and see what they can do. I have this resource, the resource list. There is this website. I think I did not include that website. I have to now send it to you. Oh, sexuality resources. First page, sexual resources. You may not be able to order all the resources from that, but they have a lot of information about sexuality after cancer. And they are going to read pannunga. Read panni, learn more about what would be a useful way to deal with vaginal dryness. All of that information will be on that. So I'm just giving you the resource for you to read. Okay? As I told you before, knowledge is power, right? You have to learn so you can prepare for what you need to do. So, the next one. Yeah. So, moisturizers. There are moisturizers you should be using on a regular basis to keep your vaginal walls moist. The topical estrogen can be used for estrogen non-dependent cancer. If it's a triple negative cancer, now you can use estrogen. But if it's estrogen dependent, oncologists will come on the moisturizer. They won't give the estrogen moisturizer. Estrogen moisturizer, the topical apota, it will actually make your vaginal walls a little more moist. But there are moisturizers you can use that doesn't have estrogen that will actually make your vaginal walls more moist. So know that, okay? YES no brand irukku. It's a British brand. Adu vandu natural moisturizers. It's available in India. Na paathen idula Amazon la. The only thing you have to avoid, just remember this: warming, cooling, hot, cold, and the mari edavadhu moisturizer potunanga, don't use it, because your vaginal walls are very delicate. It's not good for anybody. And it's even worse for people whose bodies are compromised by cancer. You should not be using anything in the arousing, tingling, warming. Don't buy it. Organic, natural brand vaangu. Yes is a good brand. Even in the US we use that. So if it's available here, you can buy it. And they sell it in, you can buy an applicator and you can just put some in. Every morning, when you finish your shower, what do? You put coconut oil or something on your body, no? Cream or ringala, what about that? It's something like that. Your whole body needs moisturizer. So just like I use coconut oil actually for my body because I'm older now. And I tried all the creams. The best cream for me is coconut oil for my body. So when I finish my shower, I immediately put coconut oil on my body, and that's the only thing that works. So you also have to, same way, pay attention to your vaginal walls that are dry. Use some moisturizer on a regular basis. Even if you're not having intercourse, use a moisturizer. Okay?
Is coconut oil okay for that?
I don't think so. I think oil, they say that oil often, because it is organic, it kind of putrefies inside, so it's best to use something else, like water brain.
My gynecologist, when I complained of dryness in the vagina,
Yeah.
she prescribed liquid paraffin.
Liquid paraffin, no?
That's what she prescribed for me. No
Okay.
oil, but liquid paraffin. That's what she told me to use.
Okay. So I'm not sure about that, but I think something water soluble. Water soluble moisturizer is better for you than oils. So you have oil based, so you have to be careful about that. So use a natural brand, okay? Vitamin E capsule can also be punctured and inserted. That's one option that exists, and I've heard it from many people that it really works well. And the best absorption is prior to bedtime. Prior to bedtime, just make a hole in the vitamin E oil and put it inside. You have to, of course, buy something that's not contaminated and a good brand. And that could also increase your moisturizing. And avoid products with parabens, glycerin. Parabens, glycerin la irukra product vaangadinga. I think I have it here. You can write it down if you want. No parabens, no glycerin. And now all the people who are moisturizer marketing people are all doing that. They're not using any parabens, they're not using any glycerins, because that is carcinogenic. I have a sample, one of the chemical. That product is not available here, but you can just try it, and it's very similar to Yes. So if you want, you can buy Yes. I don't get kickbacks from anybody, so I'm just giving you an idea about what would be a good idea for you. So whether or not you have intercourse, you should be moisturizing yourself. Does it make sense? Okay. These are dilators, vaginal dilators. These are I think I have done that. Vaginal dilators of different size. Amazon India has a brand called Amil Effective Treatment Comfort Set. So you can buy that dilator, and the chinna dilator will be like this big, and then it's a little bit bigger, and then the size of a penis. Try the small one first and see how you feel. Then but don't use it with your husband, because whenever your husband is there, you're going to become self-conscious. You try it on your own and see how your body is able to experience it. Does it make sense? So vaginal dilators is a very important way to get your body used to intercourse. Okay? So lubricate nalla, you just use a lubricant and then start with the smallest dilator, and then you place it in the vaginal introitus, and then you try to use bigger and bigger ones. See how comfortable you are with it. Okay? Make sense? If you want have any questions, stop me, because I don't want to go too fast. Okay. There's one person who said who knows about vibrators. You have an idea about vibrators. So I would suggest that you look around in Amazon and see if you can find a vibrator, because you have to, how many of you know about it, or at least have looked at or seen one?
I know.
You know about it? Okay. So it's a very important way for women to experience orgasm on their own.
There's a website called Ambition.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll share with them.
Yeah, please share with them, because one vibrator is a good way to actually experience pleasure. So it's very hard for you to feel pleasure when you only have had all of these experiences with your husband. Just do it by yourself first and see if you can get your body to respond. So it'll be an interesting thing to try and study and learn. Okay? I told you that whatever I'm saying, some of it is going to be uncomfortable, some of it is going to be comfortable. So you take all the information, and do what you can. A little bit at a time. Try to get a vibrator and see how it works. And sometimes once you use the vibrator for a while, you can share it with your husband, and then you can use it together if you want. But at the beginning, don't do that. Beginning, do it by yourself. Okay? This is another product. I think I have also included that. O-nut. Yeah, it's in the very bottom of the second page. O-nut, it's like a silicone ring. So you put that on the penis of the husband. So sometimes it's very hard to have the full penetration. So you can have a half penetration with the O-nut. இது வந்து இந்த different size bands. You can buy a couple of bands, you can stack it, and so you can still have the intercourse experience, but the penetration is not too deep. Does it make sense? The tire மாதிரி இருக்கும். It will be like a tire. It will be actually prettier than a tire, and it's very flexible, and you can put lubricant on it, make it nice and soft, and then you can just put it on. This is not available in India, but I know the person who does it, who's the owner of this brand. She had sexual pain her entire life. So she thought, what can I do that will help other women? So she came up with this product. Her name is Emily, and she's a friend of I know her. So if you, I will have her, I'll talk to her about this interest, and then we'll see what happens. Maybe she'll sell products to India also and give us a discount. We'll see. So that is what the picture is. If you go to this ONUT website, nalla clear varum. It will come up very, very clearly, and there's a lot of information about it. You can read, and then you can learn about it. It's a very top-notch product. So if you're single and you're not married yet, you have cancer, remember, you are first a person, you're first a beautiful person with a lot of interest, and cancer is only part of you. So if you're going to do things through the matrimonial column or something, don't say there you're a cancer patient. They don't need to know that. First, let them know you as a person, and then you can later, after meeting the family and all that, you can say you have cancer. If they go, they go. But Arabatle only, we don't need to chase them. They let them get to know you and see who you are. Next one. So you both need to learn everything you can learn about cancer and its sexual side effects. What are some things you learned here that are useful to you now? Tell me. Everything. So I want other men to answer. What did you learn about your women that is going to help you now? Tell me.
I think they're all shy.
Space and time to your partner.
என்ன சொல்லுங்க?
Give the space and time to your partner.
Yes. Give time and space to your partner. Excellent. I need one more answer before I can continue.
I answer
Yeah.
do not force your partner.
Do not force your partner. I want one other male voice here.
Talk and plan.
Talk and plan. Excellent. So you have a lot of these tips. Try all of this. Try all of this. Because it does get better. I can promise you things get better. I have seen people go from the beginning to complete healing. So I know that this can get better, but you have to be aware. My symptoms I just have to work on it. Okay? And discuss how best to adapt your sexual style. We used to see each other, we used to jump into bed, we used to have sex. It's not going to happen now. So how can we be sexual without doing what we did when we were young? It may not. See, what we experienced as youngsters, we can't experience even 10 years, even after kids, it's all lost, right? Changes. Every stage is a different stage. So talk about the stage and learn from your partner. This is a new stage. We have to just learn how to deal with this. And then sex, sharing sexual fantasies. If there's any movie that is exciting to you, if there's, pornography, I don't think is a good idea because it just shows sex in a very crude way. But maybe you should look at romantic films. I think some of them, I'm stuck in the 1989 when I left India. When I come back, I want to watch all those Kamal Haasan movies. Because so I'm like, I don't want to watch all these people. I just want to look at those old Kamal Haasan movies, so much romance.
He is good enough for all this generation.
Yeah. That's good to know. Those days,
English movies from there.
English movies also, there are a lot of English movies, there are romantic English movies, like Officer and Gentleman, some of those films from those times, and even now there are a lot of romantic movies, the chick flick they call it. Scarlett Johansson movies. You could even go online and see and put in, romantic movies that will come up. So watch a romantic movie with your partner and see if you can, excite yourself that way. Dress up for each other, wear nice lingerie, wear nice night dress. So even if you're not going to do everything, you are going to be flirting with each other. Flirting is a good thing because, for those of you who are partners here, your wife's feeling about her body is very dependent on how you treat her. If you flirt with her and you say, hey, I don't care about the scars, you're still very hot to me, that can make a very big difference. So, let her know that even though your body has changed, I still find you very attractive. Because that will make her feel good and come out of her shell. Okay, then let's not touch you. I don't think all of you good people will do that, but really letting her know that she's still attractive because her self-esteem is low because of what she's gone through. Make her feel good about herself and tell her, in the picture, this yellow dress is beautiful on you. Notice her, and that is really a good way to get her to be interested. So, couples, relationship and sexuality. If you're going through radiation, you're tired, you cannot have sex at night, or you cannot be sexual at night, be sexual in the morning. Whenever you feel that you're not too tired, plan it at a different time. And use lubricants for comfort. Definitely have to use lubricants. Use pillows. Sometimes, it's after treatment and all that, your back may hurt. You may have to use pillows for support. And use a vibrator as needed. And share sexual fantasies. So, when you were dating, how many of you have had love marriage? Okay? So, when you were, having that interest, did you not call, when you call them, you'd hint, you just give them little stories and you flirt, right? You have to bring that back. Even though you all have arranged marriages, even arranged marriage, people fall in love afterwards, right? So the early stages, think about it. Dinner. Go reclaim it, do that one more time. Can you, Marina Beach la walk remember that? Do it now. You have to, time? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Because I was holding it.
So, try and do things you did when you were young couples and see if you can capture that excitement. And take breaks as needed. It's not, sex is not like it's not like that. You can just take your own time and you can say, I'm a little tired, let's just take a break. Maybe we'll come back. Okay? Communication, again, is really important. And talk about what works and what is not working. This is not, I don't feel good. Can we skip it? You should be able to talk like that. Okay? And use humor and be playful. Sex is not a serious thing. It's something to play with. So don't make it into a serious thing, make it a playful thing. Okay? So that's all I have to say, and I'd like to ask you if you have any questions.